welcome to Girls with Goals. I'm Niamh Maher and I am delighted to welcome my guest to studio this week. Pamela Joyce, DJ extraordinaire, and Geraldine Carton, writer, is here with us. Ladies, you're very welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
So before we get into our game, I just want to say, obviously we're in kind of a fancy situation. Pamela, you were on the show before. You were on episode 6.
Way back when.
Yeah, and we just had a table and a couple of mics.
You've
and
made it.
Yeah.
Look at this, pillows.
I mean, I'm sorry, can we just take a moment?
Do it. Suede.
Okay. People are listening as well, though, so we should probably keep talking and describe it.
True.
So we're going to start, though, as we do with every episode with our game. It's called 6 Words or Less, right? And I want to go to Pamela first, and the reason is you've played this before, so I want to give you your previous 6 words or less, and we'll just see if you've moved on in the last kind of 8 months or so. So your 6 words that you said on episode 6, chunky yet funky, Gemma Collins enthusiast.
I'm pretty much the exact same.
Okay.
I have swapped out Gemma Collins for someone else.
Okay.
I am now the second coming of Cardi B. Ow. That's me.
So the second coming of Cardi B.
Ow isn't a word. So I'm going to go with that one.
Amazing. You're a big fan of Cardi B.
Who isn't? She's incredible.
She is. She's pretty incredible.
Perfect. And I am her, so we're all perfect.
Fantastic. Great words. Descriptive. Tells a lot. Geraldine? The pressure.
So mine is feel the fear, do it anyway.
That's nice.
Well, that kicks my ass.
It's a mantra I try to live by.
Feel the fear, do it
it
anyway.
anyway.
Do you
Yeah.
feel fear a lot?
Well, yeah, I mean, like there's so many things through life that are scary, but I find when you kind of just like face the fear head on and then you're like, okay, this is my thing, this is what I'm going to take on or challenge myself to do, like the kind of satisfaction I get out of that is probably,
incredible. Yeah. And I think like with your writing, because I want to talk about a little bit about the stuff that you write, because I actually became a fan of yours via social media, and then I started kind of following, and facing fears is one of the things that you do quite a bit, but we'll get to that in a second. So Pamela, since the last time you've been on, you've become a world-renowned, famous
I didn't want to say it.
jockey of the discs.
Yes, so I'm now on Today FMs. I do early Today FMs. That's the new station, Today FMs. Today FM.
It's funny how talking is your job.
I know. I am covering the wonderful Paula McSweeney on Early Breakfast. So I'm on air 5 a.m., which means out of bed at 4 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, but I have the whole
National
day to
radio.
myself. Yeah, and I have the whole day to myself. National radio. Tunes are fantastic. Fantastic place to work. And the listeners are amazing. They're so nice. I'm really surprised at how many people are actually awake at that time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interaction.
That's good.
And everyone's so nice.
Yeah.
Because Paula has, like, she's so incredible at what she does, and she's really, really built a following. She's been doing it for 3.5 years. And I was very nervous to kind of step in and do a show that she does so well. Her listeners and her fans are very, very loyal to her. But they've been nothing but nice. Obviously, they miss Paula.
Yeah.
She went to have a little baby. So it's been quite scary initially, but I'm settling into it now. And the 5 a.m. starts are just what I do now.
Yeah, you're just used to it.
Yeah.
I used to do early mornings as well. I worked in breakfast radio, and I used to get up at around 4:15 or so. It's you get oddly used to it really quick, though.
Because I can't imagine finishing work at like 5 or 6 p.m. now and being like, I have to go to bed soon.
Well, one of the things that I found really difficult to transition when I moved into just regular working hours, I don't know how anybody gets anything done, because we all work
How do you go to the doctor?
9 to 6. How do you go to the chemist?
The bank.
Everything's closed. Everything is closed. So then at the weekend, I'm just frantically running around like a crazy person trying to do all my bits. So I remember the early mornings being, you'd feel kind of like a vampire as well. And if anybody was out past 9 o'clock, you were like, why are you crazy?
Yeah.
Why are you a
like
crazy
when the alarm goes
person?
off at 4 a.m., you're like, I can't do this, I'm over. And by 4:15, you're like, this is fine, I'm up, I'm awake, it's grand. I'll be finished work in a few hours.
Do you not have to go to bed so early? So it's still kind of the same thing.
9:30 was my like cutoff. 9:30. If I'm in bed by 9:30, I'll be fine for 4:15. That's what I thought.
So I was going to bed at 9 and
Well, that's
figuring I'm
crazy.
getting whatever, 6-7 hours sleep. I recently got a Fitbit, which is telling me I'm actually only getting 5 hours sleep because it takes me so long to fall asleep, and I wake up quite a lot.
Fitbits are assholes anyway. They just tell you all the
I'm
wrong
a big
things.
fan of him.
Okay.
So I started going to bed earlier. It is quite hard to switch off, but it's easier now that it's winter.
Yes.
It's dark. But now that I'm a celeb is on, the constant turmoil.
It's so hard.
It's
for you.
overwhelming.
Yeah, there's so much going on at night time. I think I just have like the FOMO would just override everything.
Yeah, my housemates get home at like 7 and I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed now, bye guys.
Yeah, I remember thinking that when I came off breakfasts, I remember being like, oh, I'm going to go to dinner all the time. I'm going to go to all these incredible events. I literally go home and go to sleep even now though. So, but it is winter, so it's dark.
And daytime TV is my favourite thing in the entire world.
Really?
There's this programme on TLC called 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh, well, it's 90 Day Fiancé.
It's life-changing. It is Americans like falling in love with people online and meeting them for the first time, going abroad to meet them, or them coming to America to meet them.
Yeah.
There's one couple, this guy Paul, he goes to Brazil. He doesn't speak a word of Portuguese. She doesn't speak English. So their whole relationship is over Google Translate.
Oh my God.
So they sit there with Google Translate and
Type it in
translate,
and use the voice thing, and then she'll take the phone and type it in. It's
The
life-changing.
most incredible parts of 90 Day Fiancé is the before the 90 days, where they're in the actual country and they're kind of meeting the family, and all the family are just like,
What's going on?
no. Like all the family of each part of the couple are just like,
how?
what is
I
happening
just
here?
find it so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, the
It is
idea of
very
watching that. I'm
uncomfortable
like,
to watch.
I actually think TLC in general is just kicking it out of the park.
Say Yes to the Dress.
Yeah. Oh,
amazing.
every type of, and I don't know who runs which portion of Say Yes to the Dress, because there's Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta, Say Yes to the Dress Georgia, Say Yes to the Dress Curvy Brides. Like, it's taken over my life. I watch way too much
And I
wedding
cry
shows.
at probably every episode. But look, I'm a sucker.
I feel like I need to open myself to this.
Oh, just watch a little bit of TLC.
Okay.
Yeah, just like record it and watch it in the evening time.
Alright.
We can't all watch it live in the afternoon.
Sorry,
We've got stuff to do. You wrote I remember when you got this gig, you kind of put it out there on your social media how you wrote to Paula McSweeney
So embarrassing.
like
So
a few years back.
I remember I was sent.
You're such a fan.
I'm such a fan. I went to send her an email about taking over early breakfast, and it came up that I had already sent an email to her, and I completely forgotten about it. Like 3 years ago, before I even started in radio, I was like toying with the idea of starting with radio, and I'd obviously listened to Ian Dempsey every morning and Paula Just the Showbiz. So I'd written to her at the time being like, hi Paula, massive fan of your work, blah blah blah. How does one get into radio, blah 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 blah. And she sent me back the loveliest email being like, it's the most amazing career in the world, can be challenging, this is what I did to get to where I am.
Yeah.
Best of luck with everything, if there's anything else I can do, please let me know. And from there I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And now here I am. Like, Today FM was my end goal.
Wow.
That's
And
amazing.
Yeah, and now
So
I'm
it's
like,
kind of like full circle.
yeah. So when I got the gig, I completely forgot about it, and I was going to put a screen grab of the email up, but it was way too embarrassing. So I just thought I'd reference it instead. It's fine. It was awful. Awful.
No, but I think that's brilliant.
It's
Like,
so, yeah, and she responded and was like, I don't remember that, but that's so gas. You'll have to resend it to me. I was like, no,
Never.
okay.
Delete.
yeah.
How did you get the gig in Today FM? Is it just because I know you've been like working, but you worked here for a while as
I did,
well.
yeah.
You did stuff with R.ie a couple of years ago.
I did. So I started in radio maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I moved from station to station. I was in iRadio. I was in FM 104. And then I decided, because radio is so, people are so bloody good at it, and people know so much about it, I was like, I want to get a little bit more in depth. So I did a master's.
Right.
And for my master's I had to do placement, so I just threw it out there. I was like, any chance I can do a week's placement in Today FM, and I just met the right people. It was a lot of right time, right place, but I'm very much a believer in setting yourself up to be ready for right time, right place. Anyone can just take the opportunity, but you need to put yourself in the position to be ready, be prepared to have done the work, to be able to, when the moment comes up, to grab it and say, yeah, okay, yes, it was right time, right place, but I put myself in that position. I was fully prepared to do it.
Yeah.
So, short answer to it, I have no idea. It just kind of all fell into place.
Yeah.
So I started there, kind of researchy bits on different shows. I've worked on Warren's show, I've worked on Ian's show, and this just presented itself, and I was absolutely terrified. But I said, you know what, give it a go, and I haven't looked back since.
Amazing. Well, you're doing so well, and from your social media, it seems like you've got like a really nice group in there as well. It seems like a fun place to work.
Honestly, I say this to everyone, like, I finish work in the morning at around 10 a.m.
Yeah.
and I hate leaving.
Who's your favourite person that you work with? There's a lad who pops up on your Instagram quite a lot. Is it Sean?
Reedy.
Yeah.
He works on Dermot.
He's a handsome chap, isn't he?
He is a handsome chap.
Yeah.
He is the most wonderful boy. But honestly, everyone in there is incredible. I couldn't even single them out.
Oh, go on.
It's such a lovely place for. Okay, fine. No, honestly, there's not one person in there that I don't get on with. It's such a lovely, lovely place to work, and because there's other stations in there, Spin 103.8 are in there, 98 are in there, News Talk are in there. It's a lot of very big characters.
Yeah.
So it's a very fun place to work. And like I said, when I leave at 10, people have only just come in at 9.
Right.
So I'm like, hi, how are you? Okay, I have to go.
Yeah.
And often I'll hang around till like 12 or 1 just because I don't want to leave because it's so nice.
Yeah.
Would you get many celebs going in?
I usually miss them when I do leave at 10.
I worked in Marconi for a very brief snippet. It is a really nice place. They have this interesting staircase.
Like asking for trouble.
Where it's a glass bottom staircase, and then there's another floor underneath it.
That's why I don't wear skirts to work.
It always freaked me out a little bit.
I did see that on social media before. So I was like,
It's
this is
but also
disgrace.
It's an architectural nightmare, to be
when
honest
I'm
with
on
you.
the middle floor, so the glass ceiling is above me, I can't help but look up.
Okay.
I'm like, I look like such a perv, but it's just instinct. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look up at that. Yeah.
You want to see who's coming, like.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, that's.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, inappropriate. We'll come back to radio in a minute, but Geraldine, I want to talk to you about your writing. And before we get into the incredible work that you're doing, because I know you just actually announced something yesterday, which is such a great idea that I want to come to as well. But let's talk about your Tesco guy. Please, let's just talk about your local Tesco guy that you are in love with.
Soonie McSwoon soon.
Geraldine wrote a poem to her Tesco cashier guy. And I'm not going to give the whole thing away. Go and follow Geraldine Carton and you can find all of her work online. But I'll just give you the first paragraph. So it opens with, look, I'll say it straight. Oh God, panicked, choked.
You're already getting choked up.
Yeah,
It's a very heartfelt poem.
it's just very emotional. Look, I'll say it straight. I've got a thing for the Tesco cashier guy down the road. Simply put, I think he's the yin to my yang and I'm the scanner to his barcode.
Incredible.
That's just the first paragraph.
Do you want to do like a dramatic reading now?
And like look directly into the lens if you're watching.
Okay, so is it real?
It is somewhat real.
Oh, please don't destroy this for me.
No,
Don't
as in,
ruin the
There's
love.
definitely a guy that I was like, he is the sweetest guy I've ever seen,
Okay.
and he's in my local Tesco down the road. But like to make things rhyme, I had to like add bits that weren't
Embellish.
necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
For
There's
the
some
art.
embellishment.
For the art.
Yeah,
Artistic license, it's fine.
yeah, exactly. But he's actually the sweetest little thing. He's got like a little, he's kind of got like a man bun, but not a cool man bun, like a really niche little man bun. He's always like, hi, how's it going? Yeah, and like he loves to kind of engage in chats. And he's so friendly that like I've seen people often be like kind of get a little bit like disgruntled almost, and they're like, what's he after or whatever, and he's just like, yeah, they look like some nice oranges you got there, and like, and it's not even an American way or anything. He, like, you know, like, hi, have a nice day now. He's just like, yeah, I mean, we've got some great deals on the Rice Krispies on aisle 2 or whatever.
So he's just really
really sweet.
I always find it funny because you said they're not like an American thing. For Irish people, I think it's really affronting when people are super polite to you for absolutely no reason, especially if it's for an exchange of goods or services. You're just a bit like, oh, like, why are you talking about my oranges slightly, do you know? But obviously you like that. So that's good.
It's just the way he does it. He's just so earnest, and he really like, it's just like, well, I don't know if he actually is, but he seems to be delight in his job. He seems like he's really
if it
found his
comes from a
calling.
good place, you're like, okay, that's fine, I can allow that, but
Yeah.
you can tell when it's put on.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever had a crush on someone that like that was just on the periphery of your life? That wasn't really a part of your life, but you maybe saw them. Like I remember I used to get a bus years ago and there was this one guy who just got the bus and I was convinced that I was in a relationship with him. Like we never spoke, we didn't know each other, but I had constructed a relationship in my head because there was just like the odd little
eye contact?
Yeah,
Just a
it was
little-
there, it was there.
It's just
Contact,
well
it's all about
protected eye contact, yeah. And I was just like, well, I'm going to marry him. But again, on the periphery of my life. And then I remember going, oh, bus
It's
guy.
a backup plan though.
It's a backup plan, yeah. Have you ever had a crush on
I
someone?
currently have one.
Oh, is this
So-
a famous person?
No, now this is exposing how much of a pervert I am. But my local pharmacist, I went in a few times and I was like, he's just the purest man. Like he's honestly so happy to see you.
Your pharmacist.
He's,
Oh my
yeah,
God, maybe it's the same guy.
it could be.
He's got
Maybe he
double
moonlights
shifts
as a
at
pharmacist.
Tesco in the morning.
So I go in, you give him your prescription, and he's so thrilled. He's like, anything else, Pamela? I love when they address you by name. And I was like, so the third or fourth time I went in, I was like, he's very cute now. I saw his name badge, but it was covered up.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, how am I going to go about this?
Now, how old of a man is this man?
I would say early to mid 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Young pharmacist.
So this comes in later in the story. So he gave my prescription back, and I realized he'd signed the bottom of it.
Did he give you his phone number?
So no,
Okay.
he literally just signed it as he has to do legally for his job. And I was like, okay, we're in a relationship. This is perfect. So I obviously went home. and like stared at it for it was signature rather than writing his name. So it took me a while to like look at it and like try and figure out what it actually said. Eventually, I got his first name. Took me a while to get a second name. I got like, it was Mac something.
Okay.
So I typed in, gonna blank out his first name, blank Mac.
Should blank out a lot of
everything. So just blank. And like eventually found him on Facebook. I tried various differentiations of like
The
Mac
name.
something,
Yeah,
Mac
yeah,
this, Mac that, and I eventually found him. But then I went back a few weeks later and I haven't seen him in a while. And my theory is that he was like a student pharmacist. So now he's back in college. And we're not meant to be together. But I live right beside DCU, so I'm just going to walk around the campus and hope I bump into him.
Okay, you could alternatively not do that and never tell the story again.
Okay, perfect. Duly noted.
I think feel the fear, do it anyway.
You see,
just do it.
there's something about the fact that he calls you by your name, though.
fancies
Because
it.
do you know what's so weird? Do you know when you go up to customs, like, and you give them your passport and they check your passport whenever they say thanks, Niamh? I just think it's a lovely.
It's a nice touch.
They're always the friendliest
It's a
man
nice
there.
touch, and then if you get a hot customs person, you're just like,
Because it happens
Yeah.
in Spain when you give it to them, they're like, hola, Pamela. I'm like, oh,
Pamela.
and they're like chatting away to you in Spanish, and I'm just like,
No, I find in other countries, like going to do the passport control is like the most terrifying thing. I feel like immediately I always feel guilty. I'm like, do I have a bomb?
yeah, I get
Do
really
I?
stressed.
Yeah, but then when you come to the Dublin one or the Irish one, like they're like, oh, how's it going?
Yeah.
You're somewhere nice?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know.
Go
They're
on,
just
your
like,
rascal.
welcome home.
Yeah.
They're lovely, yeah.
Really nice.
I also fancy all of them, though, when they say my name. I don't know why.
It's just a man
It's
in
endearing.
a uniform.
It's an endearing thing, yeah. I mean, you talk about like kind of facing the fear and doing it anyway. So aside from the Tesco poem, which I loved, one of the things that you do quite regularly and write about is you try different things every single week. How exhausted would you be, by the way?
Oh, effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, hence why I've gone freelance. I can't do
Yeah.
a full-time job alongside
Yeah,
it.
but I mean, so you're doing this every week. So like, off the top of my head, some of the things that you've done, you've tried Bikram yoga, you've gone camping in the wilderness with the Gals Gone Wild crew, who are amazing, by the
Yeah.
way. We had them on the show. What else have you done?
I've gone skinny dipping. I went to Listune Varna matchmaking festival. Oh my god! Honestly, that was one of the best weekends of my life. Like me and my two friends, the three of us are like the world's most single gals, and we went down. Okay, you should have joined us. And we stayed in a local Airbnb, and like the man and woman who owned the house were so lovely, and they kind of took us under their wing, and they dropped us down. And they were giving us advice, like just be friendly, get out there and talk to people. They really wanted us to meet people, and it was just such a funny scenario because like it's a genuine matchmaking festival. I remember, that being said, your man Willie Daly, like he's got his book of matchmaking, book of love.
Is this the guy who runs the whole thing?
Well,
Or
he
started it.
like
Okay.
yeah, do you know I think he's like third generation matchmaker. So like, he started matchmaking since he was 16, and he's got like a zillion kids. Well, no, I think he's got 7.
A zillion.
Who's counting? And but he's got this big book of love, and you have to you pay €20 to fill out a form, and he puts it in his book of love, and then he does nothing. Like, you'd think he'd even pretend to be like, oh, now, like, I see now, I've looked at your form, that man over there, and just point to someone random and pretend like he's trying to matchmake.
Yeah.
Puts it in his book of love, and then he's like, see you now, have a great time. But people say that, like, you could get a call from him 6 months down the line being like, Geraldine, I've got a perfect man for you now. Fine
Stop,
farmer
really?
from Fermanagh, he's perfect, he loves podcasts as well.
And so is there like events because I've seen it and I saw it on your social when you were down there. So there's Kaylee's and there's jiving, by the way.
People are driving from 10 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the morning, like the following. But it's actually, like, at first it's
Jiving.
gas. And I remember at one point, like, we were kind of, 1 o'clock in the morning, we had a fair few Ribenas. And I remember going to, like, the next hotel or whatever it was almost like bar hopping. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, and these people just, like, jiving away.
So one of my
bizarre.
best friends goes out with a lad from Monaghan, and apparently jiving is all the rage for like meeting people. Yeah, it's like a proper thing.
But it's fab because it's all these, every single age. Like, there was women who looked like they were like 100, and they were like bopping around, and it's amazing because I feel like, say in Dublin, older people don't have that opportunity to get out and get active in the community. And it was old people dancing with young people, like all ages.
Look, we all just want to know, did you meet anybody at Listune Barna? Tell us.
I kind of met someone, like not even really. I think we exchanged numbers and then it didn't really go anywhere. But he was kind of an older man. And then my friend Louise met a guy and he was like way younger. We were like, I mean, I'm sure he was definitely 16. And she was like, stop. No, he definitely was 16. Maybe. But so like Dee was saying like, hide your grandchildren, hide your grandfathers. Like no one's safe with these girls here because we didn't get any like people our own age. It was just like kind of either extreme of the spectrum.
Okay, yeah.
But neither worked out and I've heard nothing from Mully Daly.
Brilliant.
Oh no.
Perfect.
Well, the matchmaking thing was one thing, and then tell us about skinny dipping. Where'd you do that?
I did that on the Vico Baths just in Foxrock.
So it's not like a designated skinny dipping area?
Do you know, I think there's kind of a little bit of, I don't know.
Unwritten rule?
Yeah, well, yeah, it had been kind of, like, I didn't realise this at all, but when I mentioned it to people, they're like, oh, of course, the Vico Baths, like, that's the skinny dipping area. But apparently now they're trying to make it officially the skinny dipping area. Now locals are like, no, we don't want, like, throngs of naked people just, like, prancing around the area. But, so...
What was it like? I've never been skinny dipping, actually.
Yeah, it was first of all terrifying, like really, that was one point that I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself?
It was cold as well.
It was freezing, yeah. But I remember we went down, myself and my friend Sarah, and there was only men standing there. And it was a lovely Sunday morning, very peaceful, beautiful day. And they were kind of all just like one man was, they were all by themselves, but like, you know, one man was just sitting there having a smoke. Another man was literally just like power stance looking out into the sea, completely butt naked. Yeah, we were all like, oh, and we're trying to be discreet and like not be giggly. But and we were waiting till like people got out of the water, because then this man came down and he was wearing like snorkel and goggles and stuff, and we're like, I don't want to get in the water when he's there.
Yeah.
So we were waiting, but eventually we were like, okay, people are just going to keep arriving. We need to just get it over with, because I was psyching myself out. At this point, I was like shaking furiously, and I was like, ah. So anyway, lovely peaceful morning, all the men enjoying their times, and then suddenly we like whip off our towels, like, and like scamper down, stayed in the water for, I'd say, about 10 seconds. That was a nice part.
Yeah, being in the water.
It was very, kind of rejuvenating, and, you know, bits get cold that don't usually get a look in, so that was an experience. And then
you
like,
ran back out.
kind of crawling back up, and you're freezing then, and you feel kind of gross at that point, and slippery, and it's like kind of slapping all over the place. But once we did it, there was a lot of that. It was such a good feeling, yeah. And we were like, let's do this every week, and I haven't done it since.
Yeah, it's so funny because like you see skinny dipping in movies, and it's such a beautifully Hollywood version of what it is. Yeah, you're usually in a wooded area, and there's steam coming off the water, and you just kind of glide into the water, and then you dip yourself down.
You certainly don't slap in if you don't.
like a guy standing there butt naked.
You honestly couldn't pay me to go skinny dipping.
But I would say I felt like it was a good experience for like body positivity.
Yeah.
Because like all the people down there are completely at ease with themselves, and they're just like, hey, you got what you got, I got what I got, let's just live our lives.
Well, that's it. I've been on a nudist beach before, and it's very much that kind of mind frame. I wasn't nude on the beach. I actually was asked to leave because I wasn't nude. But like, I've been on a nudist beach, and I get it. It's very freeing, and people are just there, and it's their naked bodies, and they're one with nature.
I think
older gents usually, though. It's definitely kind of
old men when we were there.
I think older men like
being. I think after like maybe a minute or so you'd relax into it, but like my two biggest fears in life are water and being naked. So it's just like skinny dipping, not for me. Like I'd be the kind of gal, like when all the gals go on holidays and they're all taking their bikini snaps and getting ready, and I'm just like in the background with like a nightclub t-shirt on that I got like 10 years ago. Like I don't want to get sunburned. That's kind of, I'm not a skinny dipping kind of gal.
Yeah. To be honest, I think it's like do it once and I've ticked that box now.
And how do you get the ideas for what you're going to try next?
Yeah, that's kind of a struggle. Like every once in a while, I'll like frantically go on my social media and be like, please help me. Yeah. Like I need to do something this Thursday. Like if anyone has any ideas. But actually, people are really good at being like, oh, I know this person, you should do it with them. Or recently, PR companies have been getting in touch with me, like, which is very clever on their behalf. And they're like, hi, I work with this brand, this brand, this brand. If you want to.
Those PR companies,
they know what
they
they're
know
doing.
their stuff.
So then it's a good idea, because it means that like I'm kind of obviously promoting, well, hopefully sometimes promoting whatever it is, like the company, and then it's like free advertisement for them. But yeah, there's been some interesting moments.
And experience, though. I mean, I remember I watched one of yours, and I think you were a little bit hungover doing one of them or something like that. But I mean, it's good to see it on your social media and to see that you're nervous and a little bit anxious about everything as well. Yeah. As not just being like, I'm skinny dipping today, guys, and it's going to be fantastic, because that would scare the shit out of a lot of people, like, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I do try to be, like, and I really do try to be as honest as possible. And even, like, I was supposed to be going to Delphi next weekend and doing, like, co-steering. Have you ever heard of that? Huh? It's kind of... It's one of these things where it's like an adventure kind of
just
holiday.
Through like the bog and stuff.
I think you literally like throw yourself down like lakes or bogs.
You're like, you're jumping through bogs and you're like going under trees and
something that outdoorsy people I think would love, and I'm very much an indoorsy kind of gal. Yeah. But so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then it was a real struggle to get someone else to do it with me, because everyone's like, are you mad? Co-steering, like going through bogs in December.
Yeah, it's cold. Yeah. It's cold.
And then I was like, oh, do you know what? I don't think I'm going to do it. And I felt like a real failure, but I was like, these people kind of want me to promote the co-steering, and I'm going to be honest about it. I know I'm only going to complain about it. So I was like, look, let's just wait until at least springtime, and then I'll be able to give it a good whack.
That's it.
But otherwise, I am going to be honest and just complain.
There are like times when you can try things for winter, and there are times that you can try things for summer. So I was actually, I was online, speaking of the amount of things that you try and stuff. So there's this group, and they're called the Try Guys, and I'm obsessed with them. So they used to work with BuzzFeed, and then they left BuzzFeed, and now they've set up their own thing. It's called the Try Guys, and they basically try things that gets them out of their comfort zone. So not unlike what you're doing, but they have like 25 million subscribers or something like that.
Very similar.
Really, so similar. Yeah, exactly. But they tried wearing women's pants for 72 hours. When they say pants, it's just trousers, because they wanted to see what it was like. And I was so connected to this story. The moment I saw it, I was just like, preach, Try Guys. Basically, they wanted to see what it was like to not have pockets, and they wanted to see the struggle that women go through while not having pockets. And I just thought it was fantastic. And they didn't understand why women don't have pockets. And to be honest with you, I don't really understand it either.
It's bizarre. There's nothing worse than when they have the fake pockets at the front.
Why
are you even there? Just don't have a pocket. I'm not a pocket person though.
So Ciara Knight, who was on episode 6 with you,
she's fine.
Back in the day,
Take her, leave her.
She's a writer. She works for our brother site. I don't know, our mate, Joe.co.uk. Brethren. That's a great word. And basically, she tweeted last year. She's always ahead of the curve. She tweeted don't tell her I said that. She doesn't listen anyway. We're never going to achieve true equality until all women's jeans come with pockets in them. No exceptions. Do you know what I think is so funny about that? When you do get a pocket, have you ever seen a woman react to pockets on a dress, like hidden pockets?
But that's
it's like
so exciting.
It's like the second coming of Christ.
Yeah.
Like, we're so excited for pockets. Why don't like the fashion people just realize that actually the way to make women happy is just give us some pockets?
But I think also we're very used to not having pockets. So like, if you look at my handbag, I honestly could not tell you what's in there. And I like have 3 or 4 different handbags that I use.
Yeah.
So like, there's just stuff from maybe 5-6 months ago in the handbag, and I'm like, yeah, I'll throw my wallet in, it's grand. So I think we're too used to having so much stuff that we're never going to use that we have to have just in case.
Absolutely.
But if we got pockets, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, I don't find the whole pockets in your jeans that big, or like trousers that big a deal, because like, to be honest, I've got so much stuff that I need like a big hefty bag anyway, so that's not the issue. My issue is like, I don't know where to put my hands, and it's too awkward to put my hands like this.
They're so like tiny little pockets.
They're tiny pockets.
To be honest with you, I've got like really
ideal.
I mean, look at the size of these pockets. Look at these bad boys.
But I think pockets in a dress or a skirt, that's crucial.
Yeah.
Like, I want every single dress, every single skirt having pockets.
Look at this. Well done, Zara.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Like, where to put
I recently got a new dressing gown that has pockets.
Yeah.
Snacks, my phone, everything. The remote. Sorry, I can't find it. We have to watch 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah.
It's in my pocket.
Well, I think I've just messed my skirt up. But the Try Guys were saying that obviously it's encouraging women to buy bags, because when you don't have anything you don't have any space to put anything into, obviously you're going to go and buy expensive bags.
I actually, that's one thing that I just cannot do. I would never, as long as I live, buy like a proper designer bag.
Yeah.
It's just a vessel to carry your stuff in.
Yeah. It's
going to get bashed, it's going to get rained on. Why would you spend like 3 or 4 grand on something that you just put your shit into? There was something else I saw about the suffragettes used to like sew pockets into their dresses.
Because
just be like, I can have pockets.
Yeah. Well, which I dig that.
I admire, but I'm like, it's a pocket. We have bigger issues.
We do have bigger issues. But as Kira and I said, maybe we'll never have equality until we
She's onto something.
until we get pockets in all of our jeans.
But like that being said, I remember people saying like, don't wear high heels, women. It's only designed to slow you down so that like we can be chased easily or like.
To be honest with you, I wear heels literally so I can reach the plates. Like it's not, it's got absolutely nothing to do.
But exactly, I think that
Yeah.
it's easy for people to be like, no, this is like, but actually it's usually kind of like a practical reason or a visual reason.
Exactly. I'm fine. To be honest with you, the pockets thing, the only thing that really irks me when it comes to the pockets is when they're fake pockets. So when you buy something and you think that it's a pocket and it's actually just a design, because I think the same amount of time went into designing a fake pocket and you could have actually just given us a goddamn real pocket.
Or else
And
I
then
really panic when you get a coat or a jacket and you have to cut it.
They've sewed it shut.
Or but sometimes, or like, you know, you have to cut the back of it, or sometimes you have to cut the pockets open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not sure if there's a pocket there. Am I just butchering my coat, or am I going to get a nice surprise at the end of it? I don't know.
Or the thing is, if you've cut it, sometimes I've cut it, you put your
like
hand
pocket
in,
anxiety.
and then the pocket is like, it is a pocket, but it just like it's not a pocket though.
The word pocket doesn't sound like pocket anymore. It sounds like it doesn't mean anything because we've said it so much. Pocket.
Question, do you think we're saying the word pockets too much?
Pockets.
The last thing that the Try Guys did though was that they went and they bought a bunch of bags, and they bought those we would call them bum bags. Bum bags?
Yeah, fanny packs.
call them
fanny pack.
Fanny packs that they wear across their person.
Kim K wears them.
And that kind of, I mean,
If she wears it, I'll wear it.
Look.
I'll wear bicycle shorts. I'll wear.
I know that it's a trend, and I know that all the cool kids are wearing them. I cannot walk around with a bum bag on my chest. I just can't do it.
I'd rather walk over like a proper. If I'm going to go hard, go home, or go hard or go home.
Yeah.
I'd rather go home or else go
Go
hard.
home and look at your pockets, okay?
I don't think so. Would you wear one
Yeah, absolutely.
around your shoulder?
Yeah.
Come on.
I'll wear anything.
Have you worn one around your shoulder? We've had a
No.
bunch of guests who have, like, but they're way more fashionable than
Well,
me.
the problem
Yeah,
is,
I think it is like fashion.
It's
yeah,
definitely
like I am
fashion.
Pull it
fashion
off.
if I wear that.
Yeah.
The problem
but
is
I'm
with
not fashion.
whenever I buy fanny packs for like festivals or anything, I genuinely have to like stretch it out as far as it can go.
Shut up,
No,
Mama.
because I have quite a big posterior, so like it just doesn't fit, and what is on top of my body is even bigger than my posterior, so I don't think I'd fit it around. But if I could, I would. That's where I'm going with that one.
I like that. I enjoyed it. Okay, but I've been keeping you for a while, so I'm going to let you go. But before I let you go, I want to talk a little bit about Christmas. So basically, when I was away this past weekend, my apartment was decorated by my housemate. So the Christmas tree went up, and the decorations are all up and stuff. And she asked me before, you know, if it's too early, just let me know. It's fine. I said, absolutely not. Like, go for it. Like, if you want to put up the tree, grand. It means I don't have to put up the tree. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now that it's up, I don't know. I think it might be a little bit too early.
My cut-off is 8th of December. After 8th of December, you do what you want to do.
Really?
Yeah.
So you definitely think it's too early to have Christmas decorations
I mean,
up? Yeah.
each to their own, but
Yeah.
you're going to get sick of it.
Yeah, I would say 1st of December. Like once December hits, I'm like, yeah. But up until then, I'm like, bye.
Really?
But then there's the people who like take the stuff down on Stephen's Day.
Oh,
There's
I know
people that
people.
do that.
I find that, yeah.
Those people are dead inside.
They are.
Obviously, yeah.
I'm
Like,
like-
why would you spend Stephen's Day? Like, you're so full still. It can't move.
Yeah, you're not supposed to move Stephen's Day, but
I
it's like
just-
you still have New Year's and stuff, and it's nice to have the lights.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if you have a real tree, everything does start to die. So around New Year's, it gets a little bit grim.
That's fair.
If I was to ever win the lotto, I think the best money I could spend would be on paying someone to take down my Christmas decorations after Christmas, because it's just too heartbreaking.
Absolutely has to be an app that does that. There's an app for everything.
Everything. My mom
Dibs, dibs, dibs.
my mom has started like year by year gathering more Christmas decorations. So it used to be like a nice classy tree and a few little candles and like maybe a wreath. And then there was like this really ugly like snowman that was by the fire, and I was like, I'll allow that to happen. And then the next year there was the snowman and like a fiber optic Christmas tree. And then the next year just building and building, and there's just so many fiber optic lights and flashing lights around the house now. I'm like, Mom,
I counted the Santas in my house last year.
Yeah, a lot of
in my
Santas.
family home now, not my apartment, just to see how many Santas my mother had. And to be honest with you, I got to 80.
8-0.
8-0, including decorations and including everything. 8-0, yeah, I got to 8. And then to be honest with you, I stopped. Like, I went to make a cup of tea. But I was just like, this is ridiculous. All the rooms in the house. It looks nice, but yeah, it's pretty much like Christmas has vomited all over my family.
That's okay though.
home.
But again, like I love it. Like really embrace it.
Yeah.
As in like rather than half-assed.
Absolutely. But the thing that I wanted to talk about was Christmas movies, right? And there's a lot of them that are coming out at the moment. I've got a feeling that you might really enjoy these movies.
Obviously.
They're-
Like, the worse the movie, the better.
Right, so these are absolutely terrible movies, and one of them is on Netflix at the moment, and it's called The Princess Switch. Before I even like talk about it, with just the name, I spoke to a colleague about it, and he guessed the entire plot
yeah.
and the end of it as well. Like, he got it all right just by the name of it.
I've watched the trailer at least 19 times.
Oh, come
But is
on.
this not a movie that's been
But
done
every
in like
movie these days
several
has been done.
versions? Do you remember like Prince and the Pauper and all these things? And so is that? Sorry,
This
I'm
one
guessing
is
that's
essentially like
exactly the same.
Princess Diaries meets Parent Trap. Is essentially what it is.
If they had a baby, yeah, if they had a baby, that movie. But it's Vanessa Hudgens of High School Musical fame. And, you know, they're in this random European country principality that's called Bulgaria or Bulgaria. I know.
Bulgravia.
Bulgravia. Bulgravia.
I told you I watched it
which is a
19 times.
combo of like a real country and a designer, right? I don't know, but they always come up with the stupidest name for this European principality. And so they bump into each other, and one of them is a local baker, and one of them is a duchess, and they bump into each other. One of them has short hair and the other has long hair, because obviously they have to be different. And literally, they decide to switch places. The duchess had no security with her. This is what I find, like, there's just gaping holes.
No, you just need to
in
let
the
it
plot.
happen.
No.
Just let it happen. Just enjoy it for what it is.
I find that very difficult. I'm like, well, why would the baker be out of the bakery when it's 7 o'clock in the morning? This is the prime
baking
time.
competition. She got invited to the royal baking competition. Geraldine, come on.
It is. I haven't watched the full thing, but it's a terrible, terrible movie. But
But is it in any way salvageable?
no, absolutely not. Like,
But you just have to
100%.
like laugh at some of them. Like there's
No.
one on Netflix called Sierra Burgess is a Loser.
I'm sorry. That's a great movie.
It's horrific.
I think that's
It's
really,
absolutely
like,
horrendous.
upsetting. I had to stop halfway through. I was
I
like,
liked
I don't
it.
like this.
It's
morals
weird.
Of the story.
I know it was a weird. I liked it for what it was. But to be honest with you, there's a couple of ones that are out now, and the same leading guy is in both of them, and they're
no,
being
isn't he?
absolutely slammed. But to be honest with you, I don't think you can look at that movie for anything more than what it is, which is
It's just to fill an hour and a half of your life.
it really is.
Genuinely.
Yeah, I think I watched it on like a Sunday afternoon
Yeah.
or something like that. But I enjoyed it. I did. You hated it.
I wouldn't say I hated it. I watched the first hour of it and I was like, I can't do this. I don't hate myself this much. And then I finished work at 10 a.m. and I was like, I do hate myself this much. I'm going to watch the rest of it. And I did. It kind of half redeemed itself in the end. But how it got through, like someone had pitched it, then someone actually wrote the whole screenplay, then someone cast people, then someone actually put money into it for it to be made, and then it was sold. And I'm like, how did all these steps happen with something that bad? But then again, like I said, I watched 90 Day Fiancé, so I'm not able to judge anything.
Do you watch true movies?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh my god! Every time I come home, my parents are watching that, and I'm like, "Oh, please, not again!" It's every single movie. It's like an American TV channel, and like every single they play all these movies, but they're the exact same movies with different characters, exact same plot line, and it's always like really wholesome. And there's always like people start off hating each other, but then they find like through Christ or through some like really big moral story, then everyone loves each other at the end.
So there's the cast of One Tree Hill have come together for a Lifetime movie, and that's kind of similar. So again, Lifetime is a channel in America, and it just essentially brings back people who were on sitcoms in the noughties, I think, to start a movie. It's got nothing to do with One Tree Hill or basketball. It's just got like 3 of the non-main characters back together, and it's called A Christmas Contract. And I watched the trailer. I swear to God, I had no idea what the premise of the movie was afterwards.
But it's the same, like they're the same characters they were in One Tree Hill.
No, they're just the
same
same actors. But then on the actual trailer it says the cast of One Tree Hill reunites.
That's so deceiving.
But it's not One Tree Hill at all, yeah. And again, it's about a contract that's made at Christmas about finding love. And I think there's magic, because there's always magic
Okay, sold.
involved. I know, yeah.
I feel like it's a real desperate attempt of like, you know, revival of the kind of old actors.
But I think it's something around this time of year, though. There is something very nice about sitting down and watching a terrible, terrible
that
movie.
you can bond over.
That you can what?
Bond over with
Oh, that
your
you can bond over.
housemates or your family. Like, haha, that was crap. Let's watch it again.
Do you know that's where the premise for cracker jokes, Christmas cracker jokes are? They're always meant to be so awful so that everyone can kind of groan together and be like, oh, terrible joke. And it's a kind of bonding thing.
way.
It's specifically supposed to be terrible.
Actually makes so much sense,
Yeah.
because my dad loves Christmas cracker jokes. Like, he finds them hilarious, and he is the worst joke teller. Like, his jokes are absolutely terrible. So it all makes sense.
There you go.
Whenever my dad does the terrible jokes, he finishes with boom boom. I love it. All my sisters are like, oh my god, it's just the boom boom gets me every time.
Dad jokes are amazing. Before I let you go, Geraldine, tell us about what you're doing, because you started something exciting yesterday, and tell us about it.
When you said that, I was like, what did I do yesterday?
No, you announced it. I just don't want to get the wording wrong, so I'll let you announce it.
So I need to make sure I get the wording right now. It's a charity shop crawl through Dublin. And it's myself and my friend Taz Kelleher, and we are going to be doing different things. We've got a collective called Sustainable Fashion Dublin, and we're going to be organising events, swap shops, and this is our first event that we're kicking things off with. And essentially, we're going to be leading a tour through Dublin, but like a group going from charity shop to charity shop to charity shop, starting from Rathmines, finishing up on Cable Street, and like there's so many charity shops along that way, and just kind of introducing people to why charity shops are so great. We're going to be talking to a few people who work in the various shops and getting like some sneak previews, and then finishing up with like a cheeky cocktail in a bar just off Cable Street. But because the whole premise was that we were like, first of all, it's so hard to meet people nowadays. I feel like it's like the millennial affliction. Affliction.
Radio.
I use words for a living. And that it's so hard to meet new people. Okay, everyone's online,
but we all know each other. That's the weird thing, is that you kind of all know each other online, but it doesn't mean that you can technically like go for dinner with them, like go for drinks with them. So meeting people face to face.
Yeah, and people who have the same interests. So that was, and we were like, okay, let's think of a way to get this going. And both of us love charity shops, so it kind of just 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that on the 2nd of December, and. And then we'll be finishing off, as I said, kind of just as a get-together or whatever with a drink. But like we're going to have like prizes for who got the best buy or like the most flashy thing. But just as a way to kind of a gathering together, but also hopefully do some positive,
like-minded, and also supporting charity shops as well.
And also bringing people, like making people aware that like, buying from the high street all the time, like it's awful when you see the statistics of like how many clothes just go straight into landfill, like 20% of clothes that are made.
Yeah, so it's about kind of trying to encourage a little bit of sustainability when it comes to our fashion as well. Yeah, amazing. That sounds so exciting.
So fingers crossed. Like last night I was messaging Taz like live. I was like, oh my god, we got another sell of a ticket.
Yeah, and it's it's like €11 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's not.
We want to make it cheap, as accessible as possible.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
just hopefully now we can sell out, and then we can do lots more in the future.
Oh, it's going to be a great event. Might just go. Need a bit of. I love charity shops.
Yeah.
I really do. I love going on my lunch and just having a little wander around.
Yeah, and also it's nice to know which ones are like the really good ones. Like say certain places have loads of handbags.
Yeah.
Like so that's a good place to go to handbags. Yeah. Other places are great for like formal wear, or there's like bridal shops that actually you'd think like, oh, I don't really want to get my wedding dress from a charity shop, but they've got some stunning dresses that would be great even if you're not getting married, if you want to get something more bespoke for getting married, for any kind of formal
occasion.
events, like, really, really
Oxfam Home is great for couches.
Yes, exactly.
I didn't even know about this place, and I actually Shane told me about it. I didn't know there's an Oxfam Home right around the corner here, and it has really good furniture at times. Like the thing with charity shops is you go in sometimes and sometimes it's cack, like that's just, let's be honest, but other times it's you'll get absolutely and
things that are worth so much, and you get them like for
it's amazing. Okay, I'm so excited about that. And what else can we expect from you then when it comes to your writing? I saw that you're looking into a few things. You want to talk to Irish people in London and stuff like this. So exciting things happening.
Yeah, I love doing that. Every once in a while I get to do a thing where I kind of will like pick a place in the world. I've done Dubai and New York, and essentially just kind of trying to give a platform for women who are doing cool things over there, because as we all know, so often it's the men that get the promos, and it seems like they're the ones doing big things. Men are so often in the positions of power, but nowadays actually women are doing incredible things, especially Irish women, making their marks all over the world. So at the moment I'm doing a piece of amazing women in London, and like it's just every time it blows my mind how proactive and kind of advanced thinking, I don't know, whatever, certain people are in their fields, and it often goes like uncongratulated or known. So
well, there's the other thing as well, is that I think certain industries are always getting the spotlight as well. Like there are certain people, whether it's to do with like higher profile people or things like this, that are kind of quite often congratulated. And like you said, there are incredible women doing incredible things in things that they don't necessarily get media coverage for. So that's an incredible thing, I think, to kind of highlight it a little bit.
Exactly. But then also it's cool to like find out what it's really like to live in these kind of certain places. Like when I was talking to the women in Dubai, one thing, and like, sorry, they were talking about all these amazing aspects of Dubai, but one thing that blew my mind was like, they have air-conditioned bus stops. I was like, what?
That's amazing.
But it's just because it's so hot.
That's
and then,
bizarre.
yeah, and then in New York, the women were saying, it's like the medical costs are so extortionate that it would be cheaper for people to come home, like pay for flights back to Ireland and go to their GP here than it would be, or get sorted here. Yeah, than it would be over there, because it's just out of control.
A friend of mine lives in Ruwais in the UAE, and you call the shop like a takeaway. You call the shop and be like, hi, can I get a litre of milk, some cookies and a packet of crisps, and they deliver to you. Like that needs to happen.
That is
like Tesco is honestly like a 2.5 minute walk from my house, but there's days where you're just like, I'm just going to starve because it's too far away.
Wow.
So let's all just move to Ruwais.
All right.
Ruwais?
So wait, Ruwais, yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of it either, but
I
I
think
was
that's
trying
how I
not to
pronounce it.
sound
I'm
really
gonna go with
stupid.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad.
It's in the UAE somewhere.
Okay. I'll give it a Google.
Could have made it up. I don't know.
Oh, you wait, I know it well.
Yeah. I
Been there a few
summer there
times.
with the family.
Pamela, what's coming up for you then? You're
Well-
still going to be 5 to 7 for a while anyway, right?
Absolutely, for the next few months. So 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. if you don't want to get up that early.
On Today FM.
On Today
Not
FM.
like you haven't dropped that name enough yet.
Yeah,
we know
so-
you work for Today FM.
I do,
We
yeah, it's
get
not really
it.
a big deal. It's my dream come true, but like whatever, who's counting? If you don't want to get up that early, you can listen back on the app or on the website.
Right.
Nothing much else. That's pretty much my sole focus at the moment. I used to do my videos and bits. That's kind of fallen by the wayside for a while. I kind of feel like
Sometimes I go back and watch them, like your
Why?
mammy bits.
Why?
It's really funny. Geraldine, have you ever
No,
looked?
I've like, oh, your videos in bits.
I'm gonna
Pamela-
block you off my Instagram.
Pamela used to do impressions, and she used to do this incredible like
I
Irish
think it's such
mammy.
a talent.
Yeah, it's such a talent. She used to do
Oh
this
my
Irish
God.
mammy, and it was so good. You haven't done it in a while, and
A long while.
I know that you kind of said that you were stepping
it.
away.
Do it.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
He
we've
does never
decided.
I'm gonna do Irish Mammy in Ruwais. Yay!
Yay!
It's me perfect, wherever she is.
Wherever she is. But the thing was, which was so good, she'd be doing like a couple of videos or whatever, and then in one of them, all of a sudden, she'd have a towel on her shoulder, and it was just so perfect because it was exactly like every Irish mammy. Like they'll be talking to you, they're nowhere near the kitchen, but all of a sudden there's a towel on their shoulder, and it just made no
Just in
sense.
case,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, well, you might make an Irish mammy
Maybe
return
as
then,
a
maybe.
treat.
Yeah.
As a little, maybe Irish Mammy doing Christmas decorations. You've inspired me.
Oh my God, please
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Just the 80. Just the 80
Just the 80
Santas.
Santa Claus and we're done.
Just well done.
Just
Yeah.
keep it simple.
Perfect.
So then, obviously, you're going to stay in radio, though. That's kind of your dream,
Yes,
right?
that's the dream. So honestly, I never actually thought I could make a career out of it because I finished college. I did theatre, what a hoot. And never going to happen.
You did a
And-
master's in theatre.
No, I did my undergrad in theatre.
Oh, okay.
Spanish and Irish, and I was like, that's super employable, Pamela. Well done. Well done. So I was like, you know what? I'll give radio a go while I figure things out.
Yeah.
And here I am, and I
Wow.
absolutely love it. It's the most fun in the entire world. I literally get paid to just talk.
Yeah.
My parents are like, this is really annoying because we paid loads for your education and everything, and they're annoyed that I like fell into a job. Because they very much, I'm the daughter who lands on her feet.
Yeah.
Like I do the opposite of everything they tell me to do,
Yeah.
but I still work out okay. And they're like, that's pretty annoying.
Well, you could get an email from somebody, a la your Paula McSweeney email, one day, being like, how do I get in
There you go.
to radio? There you go. You've made it now. Today
I'm
FM.
like, you don't. You're not taking my job. Next.
I
Pass
saw.
on the spirit stick.
I saw Paula McSweeney on her Instagram actually with her little baby, and it was so cute. And she was giving you a shout out, but she also said at the end very slyly, "Don't be too good."
Her job is safe. They love her. Like, I'll get a lot of texts that are just like, okay, when's Paula back?
Yeah,
I just started. But no, I'm very excited. It's all G.
it's all G. Well, Pamela Joyce and Geraldine Carton, thank you so much for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure. And you can follow them on all of their social media if you want to see more of their writing and their radio work and maybe a little bit of Irish mammy-isms coming soon as well. That is all the time that we have for this week. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Don't forget to subscribe. We're on YouTube now, so it's the Her.ie YouTube account. And also, if you're listening on all of our podcast apps as well, please subscribe and we will chat to you next week.